This is your Utica Comets pregame show with Eyewitness News Sports Director David Edelstein. Utica Comets Faceoff.
The Utica Comets have back-to-back home games for the first time this season. Tonight, Utica hosts rival Syracuse Crunch, and it's the fourth time that these teams will face off with each other already in early this year. It's the Comets' 10th game overall now. Comets had 1 day of rest between Wednesday's game and tonight, and they needed it to freshen up their legs because the game against Rochester on Wednesday was a pretty long one. You'll see why in a second. Coming off a loss against the same team just last week, the Comets look to get ahead first. And early in period one, Rochester tries to clear, but Josh Tevis takes the puck into the zone over to Hugh McGing, and he scores his first professional goal. Utica leads 1-0 less than 3 minutes into the game. He gets a hockey hug, and he gets to lead the line for the first time as a pro for the fist bumps. Now late in period one, Lucas Jasek is there. He intercepts that one. Then Mitch Elliott winds up getting it. He slips, but Jonah Gadjevic is right near the net, where he's placed himself basically all season. It's his 8th goal of the year. He now leads the league in scoring, but the Americans came back with the goal in period 2 and 3. So 2-2 went to overtime, now to a shootout. Hugh McGing in the bottom of the first. He scores again off the momentum of his first goal of his career. And so now the Comets have the 1-0, but it wound up being 1-1 after 3. So in the bottom of the fourth, that's Stevens who walks it off for the Comets. Jake Kiley stood on his head for Utica in order to get the win. The Comets win in a shootout. Now 3 of the Comets' 5 games against the Americans, too, have been 1-goal games. And there have been close games, and the standings are close, too. The Utica Comets currently stand in 5th place. They have 11 points in 8 games, which actually ranks Utica 3rd in points percentage in the division and 8th in the league. The Comets have 3 games in hand over the first-place Bears, and Utica's been neck and neck with Rochester all season, including most games that they've played against each other so far. Let's look at team comparisons. Utica has had a bit more success than Syracuse so far this season. If you look down the power play matchup, that's where the main difference has been for these teams. The Comets have the 8th best power play by percentage in the league so far. Those top 8 teams are actually the only ones with 10 or more power play goals to this point. Utica man advantage did go 0 for 4 2 days ago, though. The Comets are in the top 7 for how many times they've been on the power play as well. The Crunch have been struggling, though, just 5 for 35. That puts Syracuse in the bottom 10. Comets head coach Trent Cole said Wednesday that he was impressed with his team's penalty kill, which went 3 for 4, including a huge 4-on-3 kill in overtime. And also, both these teams' PK is in the bottom of the league, though. There are names that have made it all happen for Utica. We've talked about Gadjevic leading in goals, 7 in his last 6 games. It's more than half the number he had all of last year. And then also you have Lucas Jasek, who now holds the team lead in assists by himself with 7. Jack Rathbone has taken the AHL by storm so far. He's the only one on the team averaging more than a point per game. Head coach Trent Cole says it's pretty amazing to see Rathbone adjust to the league so quickly after he left college 2 years early to go pro and didn't even play for a year before this. And then Gadjevic also leads in shots. He had 7 on Wednesday. That's actually an 1/8 of the number that he had all of last season in just 1 game this week, and it's paying off. Looking at the Crunch, Syracuse has really been spreading the wealth. Gabriel Fortier, Otto Sumper, Taylor Radish, and Boris Kachuk and John Ludwig all have 5 points in 9 games. Fortier and Sampi lead in goals. Heponiemi, Kachuk, and Ludwig lead in assists. And Heponiemi is up there also in points per game, but he's only played 3 games so far. Meanwhile, Radish has been putting the puck on net quite a lot. So those are the guys who have been making the impact through the first quarter of the season. Names you've heard quite a bit. After the break, we'll actually speak with one of the Comets players who's played just 4 games so far, but he's already making a name for himself. It's Jack Rathbone, who will join us after the break.